What up, though? I be that Sequential Geek. Welcome to my channel. Yo, I got a bunch of stacks of comics that I've been accumulating thanks to all the sales that have been going on over the holidays and my excessive spending. So, divided them up into a couple of piles, and I separated out a bunch of comics that I think would be great to start off with in honor of Black History Month, February 2023. To start off, last fall, I think it was November, we had the Fantastic Four 52 reprint, first appearance of one of the first black superheroes. I know that there was Lobo, that Western comic that came out. Fantastic Four 52 originally was printed in 1966. Cover date is July. Script by Stan Lee. Illustrations co-plotted by Jack Kirby. T'Challa, King of Wakanda. It's important to note that although they say this is the facsimile edition, really the true facsimile that you want to look for is from 2006, because there is no Marvel logo right there. No Marvel logo, no barcode. Any true facsimile isn't going to have that, but that's cool. I mean, these are fun to have still. Nothing wrong with a reprint. Definitely compared to the past 10, 15 years. And I think any further reprints they have, especially stuff like True Believers related $1 copy type deals, they should do them in newsprint. Call them like a nostalgia edition. Yeah, T'Challa, one of my favorite Marvel Comics superheroes. But then again, they always change, right? Every 3-6 months, every year, we got our new favorite superhero that'll pop up when we're reading this stuff for the first time. All right, it's a nice reader copy. Luke Cage joining the Fantastic Four. Just found this randomly recently. Fun buy to get. So from 168, 169, 170, you've got depowered Ben Grimm. And I think in 170, he's still depowered. It's just that Reed Richards builds Ben Grimm a Thing exosuit that mimics him being the Thing. Anyway, Luke Cage, man, he's getting paid. He's a member of the Fantastic Four for these 3 issues. So Roy Thomas doing the script and editing, Rich Buckler, cover and interior. This is going to be a fun read. Exciting artwork back then. Check it out. Very cool. So Luke Cage joins. Luke Cage's first appearance. I've got a couple copies of that, as a matter of fact. If you've seen in my past hauls, thankfully. Hero for Hire, issue number 1 out of June 1972, cover date. It's a John Romita Sr. cover, as a matter of fact. Archie Goodwin script. George Tuska illustrations. John Romita finishes. In this particular issue, though, we got Luke Cage, and I think in the second part of this, in issue 169, he gets hypnotized to attack the Fantastic Four. And then in 170, Ben Grimm gets his exosuit. Was it issue 245 is also a brief moment when the Thing becomes Ben Grimm. But yeah, here in 168, we got Luke Cage battling the Wrecker. So I just finished off my doubles for newsstand in Cloak and Dagger. March cover date. The first appearance of Cloak and Dagger in Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 64. Just like this limited series, it's written by Bill Mantlo. Ed Hannigan was doing the art. He's the original co-creator. This art here, though, I think is Rick Leonardi. Tyrone Johnson. He was already homeless when he met Tandy Bowen after she ran away from home. And I think, just like kind of like in that movie Firestarter, based on the Stephen King novel, with Drew Barrymore's, her character's parents They had allowed themselves to be experimented on with some drugs, hoping that they would just get the placebo, make some money, sit in bed, read some books, write, maybe get a headache, whatever. No, not these guys. I think they were the only ones to live, Tandy and Tyrone. But they ended up becoming the coolest pair of superheroes that has hit the 616 in a long time. Just like a genre within itself, just being homeless, down and out, like the lowest of the low. That's my impression of Cloak and Dagger. You know, I think that in this first limited series, they had ended up killing a drug dealer and on the run for it. Gotta reread it, but yeah, it's been a while. Excuse me. All right. Tyrone Johnson was one of my favorite superheroes. He was kind of like goth without knowing he was goth. I don't know how to put it quite, though. Just the way they depicted him, the stripes, the design of just that simple look with both of them. It's very cool stories. And just really appreciate these two. Keeping an eye out for the first appearance of Cloak and Dagger. It's still a semi-affordable first appearance to get, especially these days with the so-called, price adjustments and all that that's going on. Yeah, man, Tyrone Johnson, definitely a badass. These guys are not mutants. They got turned into becoming mutants, to being said that they were mutants, so forth, but that was more just a marketing gimmick. Marvel wanted to find something that made the company unique. Nobody else had mutant superheroes. So to help have their branding, become more unique, more specialized. So Marvel hyped most of their characters, a lot of them, as being mutants or some form of being a mutant. Even Spider-Man was referred to as a mutant at one point, saying that the radiation of the spider that bit him unlocked a mutant gene. And nah, that's just too reaching. By the time the 80s came, it was just sort of like with Apple when they had all those MBAs come in, start telling people what to do based off of metrics and stuff, like how most places are run today. Yeah, no. Cloak and Dagger, their genre is not mutants. Their genre is the castaways of life, in my opinion. Yeah. So check it out, Cloak and Dagger. Finished off getting doubles of some VF copies of Newsstand of this first limited series that they're in. 1983, a year after their first appearance. My next favorite superhero, Monica Rambeau. Yeah, Roger Stern. Issue 227 to, I think, issue 287 was Roger Stern's legendary run on the Avengers. Like I've said before in an earlier video, a few months ago, I did a video on Roger Stern's run on the Avengers. In general, if you want some good Copper Age reading and you're not familiar with some of the writers, artists around that time, you might just know John Byrne and Chris Claremont. Well, another team would be Roger Stern and John Buscema. This issue, it's the first issue that Roger Stern started to write, and he took the character that he created, Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, from Amazing Spider-Man cover, bred breeding cover. It's a one-off for him. Also a one-off on the interior, Sal Buscema. It's one of my favorite superheroes right here, Monica Rambeau. This is the issue where she joins the Avengers. She had this like humility about her. She was learning her powers as she went along. The woman can turn herself into light. The possibilities. Another genre within itself. She is not just science fiction. She is something else that is waiting to be opened in a genre, a subgenre of superhero comics. Some new form of superhero sequential storytelling. This woman can turn herself into light, people. Me and my friends, when we found out about this character, we were emulating this power, emulating this hero. No problem. I don't know about the whole, what this cape blouse deal is. I don't know how that's going to work over in live action. But they might make it work. Her starting off as a police detective. Just, once again, humble roots, y'all, of cosmic power. If you can have somebody like Dr. Maggie Edarin Pocock to help create some plot devices, to help create some type of MacGuffins, science-based, that'll make some sense that can be used when you apply stories with Captain Marvel, with Monica Rambeau in the future, open up new types of stories. I mean, I think that's just waiting to happen with a character like this. So I know me and a bunch of other fans have been waiting for it to happen. Yeah. Monica Rambeau joining the Avengers. January 1983. Uncanny X-Men 282. So I believe as of issue 281 is when you had John Byrne co-plotting and co-scripting with, I think, Jim Lee and Will Spertasio. I don't think Jim Lee was really co-plotting at that point all that much, but Will Spertasio was doing the artwork, and this is the first appearance of Bishop. He is in the first appearance here on the cover, and then first appearance on the last page of Uncanny X-Men 282. November 1992 cover date. And Will Spertasio, he was doing the artwork 281 until 288, which happened to also be John Byrne's last issue. He was co-plotting and co-scripting. It's another facsimile. This is the Virgin variant to the facsimile variant of Ultimate Fallout 4 reprint, originally from 2011. That was the first appearance of Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man. This is the reprinting of the Djurdjevic cover. Как се каже твое имя, човече? Я не знам. Djurdjevic или Djurdjevic? Я не знам. Yeah, Nesnum. This facsimile variant, the one that has the A cover facsimile, looks just like the original Ultimate Fallout 4 book. The only way that you can tell the difference, not the only way, but one of the main ways that you can tell the difference is the Marvel logo. Kind of like how this facsimile has the barcode and the Marvel logo. Well, on the Ultimate Fallout 4 facsimile reprint from 2021, the Marvel logo was in a red box, just like all the rest of these other Marvel recent facsimile reprints. If you see the Marvel logo in a gray box, it's going to be your first printing out of 2011. Brian Michael Bendis wrote the first 7 pages with Sarah Pacelli doing the art. Jonathan Hickman wrote pages 8 through 23 with Salvador LaRocca art. And Nick Spencer wrote pages 6 through 20. Clayton Crane doing the artwork. And in light of the new movies that have been coming out, I decided to cherry pick these 2 issues right here. The Conclusion to the Evolutionary War, Newsstand Edition, Avengers Annual number 17. November 1988 cover date. Sal Buscema just did the cover. M.D. Bright did the interiors to that Walt Simonson script. Now, High Evolutionary's first appearance is in Thor 134, scripted by Stan Lee, art by Jack Kirby. Herbert Windman. Herb Wyndham. He's a geneticist that built a genetic accelerator in the late 1930s. The accelerator had the ability to evolve anything that was placed inside of it. This guy became an outcast by all his peers. Wyndham began to work with another scientist, Jonathan Drew. Jessica Drew, the Spider-Woman. Her father, Jonathan Drew, and Herbert Wyndham collaborated on Wundagore Mountain. So the actor who's playing the High Evolutionary in the movie Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 later this year is, if I can pronounce this right, Chukwudi Iwuji. He's born in Nigeria. He's a Nigerian-British actor. He's an associate artist for the Royal Shakespeare Company. Although born in Nigeria, his education is at Yale University and also the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I lived near that campus out in Madison for a minute, way back when. And on the right, it's a King story. Issue 53 right there. It's out of June 2002. So Jonathan Majors is going to be playing King in the upcoming Quantumania movie, Ant-Man the Wasp. So originally playing Kang in the Loki series. So this came out 2002, a year after Peter Milligan and Mike Allred's X-Force 116, the first comic to drop the comics code. I was curious because I always thought it was interesting because they're showing depicting blood, which I was wondering if they would be allowed to show that before 2001. Jonathan Majors. He played the Heavy in the latest Creed movie. He is now Kang. Kang, right? Who was the Scarlet Centurion right there, right? And then before that, I guess he was Rama Tut, and then before that, he was Nathaniel Richards. Is that how that goes? I don't know. It's one of the many infinite possibilities, I guess. Let's look at that in the newsstand right there. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Got me my Prince. Right here, Rock and Roll Comics. Unofficial biography. Unauthorized. So, Rock and Roll Comics is the title. Revolutionary Comics is the publisher, founded by Todd Lauren. He's out of the Detroit area. Detroit area is also home to Caliber Comics. Ourselves here, combo Prince and George Clinton. Unauthorized, unofficial. So it's a Stuart Immonen doing the interior artwork. It's a Scott Jackson cover, though. You can see that. It's out of 1991. Seven-page story for the Linda Ferguson art on George Clinton. 19-page story, Stuart Immonen doing the art, Todd Lauren's script, the Prince bio. June 7th, 1958, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Prince Rogers Nelson was born. Passed April 21st, 2016 at Paisley Park, Minnesota. Rick James. Nice white pages here. Yeah, my previous video when I was showing off those cards, the G.I. Joe cards, the Marvel cards, the Batman cards, Superman, it's from in January. Is it February now? So last month. Yeah, one of the songs in the background was Prince, Bat Dance. So I got a copyright ding. I had to have one of the YouTube songs dubbed over it. It's all good. The George Clinton story. Check it out. July 22nd, 1941. Born in North Carolina, Kannapolis. George Edward Clinton, founder, leader of Funkadelic, Parliament, P-Funk. He is 81 years old, still alive and kicking. Wow. I met him. I mean, I served him food at a restaurant in the Detroit area a couple times. It was like in the early 90s, long time ago. Nice artwork, though, I have to say. George Clinton, 1997. $12. Eastern Michigan University. Pease Auditorium. November 9th. Nice. Yeah, it was just standing room, like paying to be right up at the stage. It's pretty dope. Follow that up. That was what, 1997? Okay, so this one's a couple years earlier, 1995. This one's in Seattle at the Rock Candy, Bootsy Collins. A friend of mine was doing lights there, so he let us help them set up so we can get in for free. That's cool. That was a nice hookup. In my previous vid, I did a review on Victory Stand. This is the biography on Tommy Smith. You could say autobiography. He co-wrote this. Got the writer Derek Barnes, Dr. Tommy Smith, with art by Dawud and Anyabwile. I'd shown this off. I've done a review of this. And Tommy Smith, basically in 1968, when he got the gold in Mexico representing the United States, he wanted to let the world know about the lack of civil rights that were going on, in particular with African Americans, and raised his right hand. They organized that the right hand versus the left hand. They each had different symbolisms for the glove. So the guy that got the second place participated, and they got banned. They got essentially expulsion from the games and lifelong exclusion from athletic competition. Pretty brave. Goddamn outstanding. So this is a biography that Dawud and Anyabwile had collaborated on in doing this. This is his latest work that's just come out. Found out about this on Instagram from Dawud and Anyabwile's site. But originally in 1990, Dawud and Anyabwile was called David Sims. And he and his brother, Guy Sims, had like an airbrush company, and they were going to go to this convention. It was like for, I think it was African-American owned businesses. And they wanted to create a comic book to promote their company, to promote the stand that they had at the convention, to promote their name. And they ended up selling this first issue of Brotherman altogether, I think that year, 40,000 copies of the first issue of Brotherman in 1990. And it just started off, like I was saying, as a promo tool. So the first print's really hard to find. This was $60. Pretty nice condition, as you can see. And so, yeah, by the way, you got three brothers. This is a family-owned company based out of Philadelphia. Big City Comics. Guy Sims is the writer. And I think it's 2015. He adapted Walter Dean Meyer's book, Monster, into a graphic novel, of which Anyabwile had illustrated. So we've got Brotherman, which lasted for 11 issues. Started from 1990 until 1996. July 1996 is the cover date of issue 11. If you find issue 11, even if you find that thing beat up, let me know. I would be interested in trading. It's really difficult to find. Issues 10 and 11. I just got another set of issues 1 through 10, my third set. But I know issue 1 in that set is a third printing, and then this issue right here just so you can see issue 1. You can see right there, second printing, December 1991. So that's copyright Big City Comics, and the original printing is, I believe, April 1990. So the production manager, they're saying, is Jason E. Sims, because it's Jason E. Sims ran the business. And yeah, after checking out these comics, I would definitely say that Sims does have some kind of like street art, graffiti influence in some of his work, for sure. Brotherman, Dictator Discipline, out of 1990. He has no powers, no invulnerable skin, no super strength. This guy has the power of discipline, the nerve, and the will to help his fellow man. Big City, USA. As far as I understand it, everyone here is African American. Yeah, issue 11, the last issue out of 1996. The brothers had to halt production. They lost their parents. Their mother had passed away. And I think at that point, they kind of ended up going their own separate ways. Very tight-knit family. Production manager, Jason E. Sims. He's like I guess he ran the business side. Big City Comics. He was the one that opened up Big City Comics in Philadelphia. That office, I guess it's officially in 96. I got here in my notes. And at the time of this publication, 1990, I mean, okay, this particular magazine right here, just so you know what a third printing looks like. At the top there, you can see it right there. Third printing, June 1992. And then copyright right there is April 1990 for the first printing. FYI, something to keep in mind. If somebody wants to charge you a premium, make sure it's a first printing. I think it's, is it Antonio Valor? It's the lawyer by day, superhero, Brotherman at night. Right there. Antonio Valor. Let's go through. Destiny is born of one who secures a purpose. Check out that art. That's issue number 1. Here's issue number 2. So please keep in mind around, I think, 2013 and later in 2017, they came out with another Brotherman book. And then also with Emory University. If you look at emory.edu, but you might as well just go to bigcitymap.com/the-city. So Emory University, Philadelphia, they collaborated with Big City Comics and created a virtual map. Virtual map of Big City, USA. It's online, waiting for you to check it out. That was issue number 4. Here's issue number 5. Like I said, there's 11 issues total. Yeah, this next cover. I dig People in Embrace. Not all of the covers like that, but I don't know if it's tasteful, if sometimes even if it's not, but it's done well, if it's done cool, if it's interesting, if it has its own shtick that stands out. The artwork shows some skill. It still depends on a combination of things, but yeah, those are usually some of the covers that I like. People to Embrace, and I really dig this cover number 6. This is cool. Brotherman, issue number 7. So that's writer Guy Sims with artist David Sims, who changed his name to Dawud Anyabwile. Check out my earlier vid for this book that he did. He collaborated with Tommy Smith on. Brotherman number 8, number 9, and number 10 is almost just as hard to find as number 11. That's why I got this whole set. Was there more than one printing of number 10? I think it was 40,000 printings of the first issue, and then like altogether they did just over 750,000 copies. This says June 1994, published by Big City Comics. 94. This is the first printing. We find our reason for being and understand our state of mind. We find comfort knowing that the conclusion of each chapter is not an ending, but a commencement. Cover date December 2005, $3.99. Price tag. That is out of 5D. 5D Comics. Superbad James Dynamite. The Wayans brothers. We have a 1972 detective with all the blaxploitation tropes. To note, May 15th, 2007, Rogue Pictures optioned the rights to the Wayans brothers comic, Superbad James Dynamite. Marlon and Sean Wayans have written the feature screenplay with Xavier Cook and Mitchell Mershond. So you have this story written by the Wayans brothers, in particular Marlon Wayans, Keenan Ivory Wayans, and Sean Wayans. Art is by Robert Reed and Darren Huang. Image is modeled after Marlon Wayans. Now, the seller told me that they had issues 1 and 2. They only sent me number 2 and gave me a refund. Didn't have number 1 online for a minute and just ordered it a few days ago. Haven't seen it. I find it all that often. So, 3-issue run, 2013. Daryl McDaniels, DMC, Daryl Makes Comics. This is comic book label for this 3-issue superhero run that he just did. So I got issue 1 coming in the mail. Issue 2 here out of 2013, July cover date. We've got Daryl McDaniels becoming a superhero. This one is a Bill Sienkiewicz cover for that B cover right there. Humberto Ramos did the A cover for issue number 2. Takes place in New York City, 1985, crime-ridden streets. Setting is about how there's a bunch of superheroes that'll help all the citizens of New York City, but I think all the marginalized citizens, they're not getting the help that they need. There's no support except for this guy that's going around at night, putting on his Adidas. He got his gold brass knuckles, leaving an imprint of his initials on the face of his enemies. It's 100-page, $20 for the original price. Daryl McDaniels wrote the first issue. Amy Chu took over here on this second issue for scripting. Juan Doe doing the interiors. We got 1/3 of the Run DMC. Had to get it. These DMC books for me are a must-have. It's just hard to find them in like VF or better shape, for me at least. Finally got that number 1 coming in the mail. And my last, in honor of Black History Month, for this February 2023, I saw him. Rippaverse. Decided to pull the trigger. You know it. I got that C cover. That was my reader copy. And that I paid $35 for, directly from his site, from rippaverse.com. Eric July, as you know, is the writer for this record-breaking crowdfunding event. Did over $3 million. Mr. Eric July. What's the name of his band? Hold up. Gotta look it up. Yeah, Eric July. And he's the lead vocalist for this rap metal band, Backwards. Artist here is Cliff Richards. Eric July, comic book writer, libertarian political commentator. You think? I saw him cover A and cover B. Kind of turned off like I was. I was cautious at first because a lot of these backgrounds are just fading. You know, if you look in the backgrounds of the farmland, if you look in the when he's in the cityscape, there's a lot of fading going on. Just, you know, no birds flying, no birds being, not a lot of trees, which is fine. I don't know. I'm looking for something to be too critical against, because, you know, as you can see, the angles that they have, they vary, and there is action, there is story that doesn't have explanations that are in your face. I thought there was a great balance between dialogue, some points that he wanted to make about, like one of them was about being self-sufficient. I think this guy, his helping hand, when he was trying to figure out somebody to hire, to bring on, to help, he was just doing some commentary about how important it is to kind of be like your own source of production, being independent, but they weren't in your face about it. I'd have to say that was the gist of political commentary of this. But I think these guys are like villains, and how this ends is really cool because they're like in a rock band, you know? And they kind of talk about how people think all they have is just their lyrics, as if they were just fantasy, and they're not. These guys are like the real thing, some type of enhanced, exceptionally powered people. I think they're called accepts, right? So their term for superheroes in this story. But yeah, his sister is like, we gotta look for this one girl, a mutual friend of theirs. Their daughter's missing, and he is going to go back into the city. Flores Park, I believe. This guy's name is Avery Silman. The city that he lives outside of is called Flores Park. Just the intro to these like government enforcers is not in your face. When he first meets this other woman, I can't remember her name, but when he first meets her, it was accidental, because like these guys had like, oh no, one of the like thugs that he was going to question, who had last seen this woman that he's looking for, this guy, he has this one exceptional, they call him, like, yeah, he goes, you're hiring accepts. He goes, I'm always for hire if the price is right. This guy's working for this mobster, gangster. Anyway, he ends up knocking ice on him so hard, goes a few blocks away and like lands in this girl's business. Overall, I'd say it was an okay story. I mean, you got the intrigue of him trying to find a missing person. He sees that woman for a moment, but you know, she can't talk because she's being watched. For someone who did so much talking, it was a huge turnoff. I try to hit up his website occasionally. It seems kind of touch and go for me, but as far as comic book content goes, like I said, there were some parts of the story that just didn't flow as smooth for me. But overall, check out ISOM. Leave me a comment below. Let me think if you'd give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Cover C, cover B, and cover A there on the right. Yo, hey, I'm glad y'all had a chance to swing by, check out my vids. This has been one heck of a haul. I'm really glad I had a chance to share it with you. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think I could have done better. I know the vid could have been shorter. It would help me out a lot too. It's all in the works, people. It's all in the works. I gotta get through this whole stack of books. I don't know, maybe I'll show them off in a live stream or something like that. Get through them a little bit differently. We'll see. But for now, much love. Y'all stay warm, stay safe. Thanks for swinging by. Peace.